Recently, a client asked me, "Hey Thomas, I'm in my mid-20s already. Do you think it's possible that I can retire in my 30s?" And that is a very interesting topic. So in this video, I want to talk about is retiring in your 30s possible, or what do you need to know in order to retire in your 30s? Hey, welcome back. This is Thomas, here to help Canadians to make better choices on retirement, wealth, and insurance. My goal, as always, is to make sure you can take one or two ideas home and start making smarter financial decisions today. If you find value in this video, consider subscribing so you will never miss any of my videos. Let's jump into it. About 100 years ago, when the average life expectancy was around 58 years, retirement was not even a topic to be discussed. But as our life expectancy has climbed, the concept of retirement has changed. Nowadays, retirement is its own chapter of our lives that we want to be able to enjoy. My definition of retirement is we don't have to work for money, that you have the ability to say no. And I truly believe that some of us don't have to wait until age 65 to enjoy that, and that's why retiring young is becoming more and more popular lately. Since the idea came up that people should be able to retire in their 30s, people had different ideas on how to achieve it. The most popular idea is that if we live frugally for a few years in our youth, then we could retire early and live a great life without dropping out of society. In fact, most people who retire young keep working, but they only work on projects they actually enjoy. But is it really possible to achieve an early retirement with savings alone? According to the Financial Independence Retire Early FIRE movement, it is, as long as you follow a set of rules. The FIRE movement is built on three components that I will explain now. Early retirement could be possible in these three ways: frugality, investments, and the 4% rule of withdrawals. What exactly does that mean? Let's have a look. Point number one is frugality. To retire in your 30s, huge savings are necessary. The simplest way to accumulate huge savings is by slashing your lifestyle and living way below your means. Now, I know this is way easier said than done. While a normal savings rate suggested by financial advisors is around 10 to 15%. To retire early, you need a savings rate of 50% or sometimes even 75%. This means no restaurants, no bars, cheap cars, or riding a bike instead of owning a car, a small living place, avoiding all luxurious, no gym, no vacation, no expensive hobby, and so on. Basically, your goal will be to stash as much cash in your bank account as possible. This is very contradicting, as in your 30s, you should be also making good money, your health is in your prime time, and you would like to try everything and enjoy the moment. It won't be very comfortable for our first few years, and it's not for everyone. So you need to ask yourself, is being financial independence way early worth it? If so, then you need to do a lot of things different than what society tells you. The next thing you can do to retire in your 30s is investing. Investments boost your savings rates and generate passive income, which will allow you to retire faster. Generally, index funds, for example, provides an annual return between 7 to 10%, but keep in mind that your return swings wildly from year to year. That's why a third rule was established to mitigate the risk of your investments. The third principle or rule to retire early is the 4% rule. A 1998 study by Trinity University suggests that a 4% annual withdrawal rate should allow you to never outlive your money, no matter the economy, as long as your yearly expenses stays below 4% of your total savings. You should be able to live off of them for the rest of your life. In other words, take your annual expenses, multiply them by 25, and you get the amount you need to become financially independent. Now, I understand that this study was 20 years ago already, and you might think, is this gonna hold for the next 40, 50 years? And the answer is probably not, but I think it's still going to be a good indicator on how much you want to save and spend. Think about it. We always say in order to be healthy, we need to drink 7 glasses of water a day, but this all depends person to person. Let's look at a concrete example. Keep in mind that examples like this are for informational purpose only. Let's assume you have a household income of $85,000. You manage to live below your means and you only need $35,000 to be happy. This means that, according to the 4% rule, you need $875,000 to be financially independent. Let's also assume you're able to cut your costs extremely and you're able to save $40,000 a year, which is around 50% of your annual income. Let's say your investments get you an average return of 6%. This will mean that it will take 14 years to hit your savings goal so you can retire. And if you can get 10% per year, then you only need 10 to 11 years to reach that goal. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button to my channel for more financial insights. You might ask, is all of this really possible if you don't have a lot of income? In fact, this is the most common critique of the FIRE movement, as most thought leaders of the movement had high-paying jobs. If you're interested, I made a whole video about the FIRE movement a while ago and you can watch it there. Well, for sure, making a lot of money can certainly speed up the process. If you make a lot of money but live below your means, then your bank account will grow faster. But a huge income is not a requirement, especially if you start saving very early. For example, at the age of 19. Of course, we could criticize here that at age 19, you probably just finished school and you won't get a high-paying job right away. But still, there are possibilities, and I truly believe that this era is the best era to be financial independent. Especially today, there are ways to make money online. If you're young, you can also live with your parents for a bit longer and save money on rent and other necessities. It's not easy, and that's why not everyone wants to retire at their 30s, but it's possible if you're serious about it. Okay, so now we know that having a high-paying job and start at a young age are solid ways to retire early. But what if you have neither? What if you are not starting early nor having a high income? Then your primary objective should be to increase your income. Especially now, you cannot go to bars, restaurants, or other places. You can use the time to build up a second income stream. You can learn a new skill and offer service online, or you can use skills that you already have, like giving English classes or teaching people how to cook. Share what you're good at. You could also create a side hustle like being an Uber driver or food delivery. Whatever it is, just find something to create a high income for yourself. Also, you can ask your boss if you can do additional training to get paid more. You might be working a lot for 2 to 3 years, but that's what it takes to retire early. It's always about your willpower and the consistency in your actions. Oh, and there's one more thing. It's important to know that early retirement is not about being relaxed and avoiding work. Instead, it's all about replacing a job that you hate for the things that you love. You keep working on things that interest you, even if you don't need the money. In some cases, it's possible to do this without retiring, by changing careers, for example. But money are often the biggest hurdle to do this, and that's where the FIRE movement comes into play. If you already have a job that you love, then you already have the benefits of the FIRE movement. To sum up, it is possible to retire in your 30s, but it will take much more discipline and frugality for the early years. If you're disciplined enough to save almost every penny that you make, reduce your expenses, and combine your strategies with investments and the 4% rule, then you are way ahead compared to lots of people. Now, if you want to find out if early retirement is right for you, use the link below to schedule a discovery call with me and my team, and I'd love to help you out. I'll look forward to see you there.